2.7 million people in Albania, and it is 24 times bigger than Texas. So it's about the size of Maryland. And that is Texas compared to Albania. I was in Vlor. It's a beach town. They're on the Adriatic Sea. Albania is a part of the Balkan states, and there are that many people there. So I stayed in, it's called Shole. That was the neighborhood I stayed in. It was a poor neighborhood full of Roma people. And I never felt scared, but it was a pretty poor, impoverished place, but it's beautiful. Video. So they have an open-air market. Not like a grocery store. They have grocery stores, but the open-air markets have fresher fruit. And so I would go to the guy, and I would put all I wanted in my bag, and I would hold my money out, because they speak Albanian, and I speak English. So they would just look at me and go through the money in my hand, and just kind of shake their head at me. So in Albania, Islam is predominant. They have a lot of Greek Orthodox, and they say that they all get along because they all serve the same God, and that's not true, is it? There's not much real Christianity there. These are the kings I got the pleasure of working with, Brother Kurt and Miss Bonnie King. And that is the church, Pisha Biblica Baptist Church in Vlor. They have been there a long time in Albania. They were actually in Albania when the Civil War started. So the Civil War broke out in Vlor, and they were there, and they got out of there.
The Civil War in Albania.
In Albania. Yeah, Civil War in Albania started, and they were there. They got to see the grenades being thrown, and yeah, scary stuff. Wow. These are some of the girls and boys that I got to work with. In the middle, standing in the gray, that's Armela. She was my interpreter, and she did not know much English. So there was a struggle. These kids are from the poor neighborhood, and they're mostly Romani kids, which is gypsy kids. And so they came because there were chips given and food, and they are very crazy. They're so different than you. You guys are very well behaved kids back there. They don't listen very well. But in the middle also, the little boy, his name is Noan, and he is crazy. He's running around the church, and they send him out, and the very last couple Sundays, I would yell at him, Noan! And he would come and give me the biggest hug. The kids just wanted you to love them. Yeah. They're so fun, and they're so sweet, and I love them very much. There's one little girl, though, one Wednesday. She was sitting there, and she didn't know much English, but she told me, shut up. Rachel, shut up. That's what she did. It cracked me up.
Did she know what she was saying, though?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And she was also the same little girl who told me in the street, Rachel, I don't like you. I was like, okay, tell me how it is. Don't worry. You'll know this song. It's just...
Uh-oh.
kids songs, but in Albanian. And Brother King plays the guitar, and they do the motions. When I was there was a baptism. It was in the Adriatic Sea. It was really cold that day, but it's a beautiful picture because this is one of the shelter girls. The shelter girls are in a state mandated shelter, and they're there for different reasons. Some of them have been beaten and thrown out. Some of them have been trafficked by their family. Some of them just don't have a place to go. So, there's an American girl there. There's different people there. But you would think through all of their life being beaten and not wanted, these girls would be pretty sad. They're not. It's completely the opposite. You go in and they've got the biggest smiles on their faces, and they want to hug you and want to love on you and kiss you but it's just a really, really beautiful picture. Her running out into the sea to get baptized.
Wow.
So I was teaching a lesson on your choice and speaking God's truth. It's a struggle. Have you ever played telephone and talked to someone and they don't know what you're talking about? And yeah, that's how it is in Albania. You have no idea what they're saying, and who knows if it's true. So it's pretty. Have you ever? It's a struggle. So these, some of these are the church members. The one on the ends are church members, and we're just going through choosing. It's your choice if you choose to know salvation. So these are some of the verses that that the Lord spoke to me. Because when I was in Albania, I went by myself. Got on an airplane by myself, well, with the Lord, but by myself. And I sat next to strange people, and it was a struggle. I was scared. And when I left here, I was like, well, the Lord provided, so I have to go. I can't be like, no, sorry, church, here's your money back. I kind of wanted to do that, though.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad to. But the Lord took care of me. And it says that God is our refuge. And He is. And He's our strength. And He's our very present help in times of trouble. He really is. And it says, therefore will not we fear. We shouldn't have to fear. So even when I was in a poor neighborhood, and they told me not to go outside after dark, because, I'm by myself. And I knew that God was going to take care of me. That stretched my faith. And it got me closer to the Lord. The last, be still and know that I'm God. It's true. He really wants you to be still. In America, you kind of have everything so easy. It's kind of easy. Yeah. I mean, you can come to church if you want to, or you can watch it on your phone if you want to. It's cool. But in Albania, you have to get up and go to church. They have internet, but they're not streaming church on the internet. I don't know. Go to the next one, please. And then this one, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I you. Let not your heart be troubled. Neither let it be afraid. I did get afraid because I was by myself. If any of you know me, I still live at home with my mom and dad. I've never really been alone, especially in a foreign country, 5,000 miles away. Especially with the people, the Kings are very lovely and they're very personal and welcoming, but they're not mom and dad or family. They're not uncle and aunt, whoever. They're random strangers. Not anymore, but so you're by yourself, and you kind of get afraid, and you kind of get homesick. I got real homesick. I wanted to come home. I texted Brother Van. I'm like, I'm counting the days till I come home, right? Because you watch the live stream here, and I would get all emotional. I would be like, "There's my people," because you guys are my people. Yeah. And I missed you terribly. But did you know that something happened the longer I stayed over there? The longer I stayed over there, the more I really got involved with the people. And even though there was trouble, because there's trouble everywhere, that I didn't want to come home. And I miss the people over there, the crazy kids that run around and tell me they don't like me. Because I know you guys like me. My girls like me. They're very confused. They all think that we all believe the same God, and it's like talking to a wall. So the Kings have worked a long time, and it seems like not a lot has gotten done. And I think they got very discouraged. There was no men in the church. Not one man came to church. And the women who came to church, they were Romani. And Romani are very, what can you give me? And if you don't give it to me, well, you're the devil. So they stopped coming. And they were running children who were Romani. And when we left, they closed the church. But they're going back. And they're going to start in a new place. And they're going to start with trying to find men of the country. The problem is, in Albania, it's a very woman-ran country. The women go to work. The men don't. Some of them don't. The men sit in the coffee shop and drink moonshine. They smoke cigarettes and they gamble. The women work 12 hours a day. The kids, they go to the grandma, the dad's mom. So that's how that works. The grandma takes care of the kids, so that's why the kids aren't crazy. She's tired. So the kids are crazy, the dads are who knows where, and the moms are working. So it's hard, it's so different than here. But if you look at their lineage, like they were in Islam for 500 years, and then after Islam, they were taken over by communists, and communism was just awful. It took a lot of their compassion away. So if you go in line, they don't wait in lines very well. They're really bad. They're like crowd. It's like, it's so different than America. It was a real culture shock, that one. I have a little video that I want you, and then we'll do questions.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights.
wanted to thank you all very much. Your support, your letters, your messages, it really blessed my heart. And it was nice to be able to see that you do care. I know you do, but I've never felt that before. I've never felt, I love you very much. I thank you. And I will go again. I told the Lord I will go wherever He sends me. That's the best way to live. Young people, younger than me, older than me. If you tell the Lord that you'll do it, He'll put you through it, right?
Yeah.
But when you come out the other side, you'll be better. You'll be better for it. And you will see that God can do all the things. Yeah. Any questions? No questions, great. Becca. There was a lot of food. You know what was really cool? They don't have here. There was like fruit trees everywhere. You could walk down the street and you could like grab a lemon. You could grab a pomegranate. They have all the things that we do, but they don't have fast food, Becca, and they don't have Mexican food. I know. Italy. Yeah, I do. I know good morning, Miriam and Jess. Good night, Ditembar. No, that's have a good day. Ditembar. It's been a week or so since I've spoken. Thank you is Stamenderit. Jay.
What do you eat most for food?
Most for food. Potatoes. I order French fries. Coffee. A lot of coffee. That's super good. Anybody have any questions?
And where all did you go on your trip?
We went, we were in Vallor, and then we went to Tirana, that's the capital of Vallor, and then we went to Siena, Italy, Florence, Italy, Venice, Italy, and then Pisa, and then on the way home, I stopped in London. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That was great. Miss Karen.
So over there, you just can't go to the red food and not go. It's not safe.
Well, over there, they're very indoctrinated with the people who walk around and they knock doors and they wear ties and they wear suits.
You can
Jehovah's Witnesses.
So you can-
Yeah. So anybody knocking doors, they're thinking that they're Jehovah's Witnesses, right? And so, but over there, it's really sad because you know they're Jehovah's Witnesses. They're like, they say things like, well, if you jump off the building, show God. So there's a lot of like.
Confusion.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and people actually do those things, and so it's not really good. There are, Brother King does hand out a lot of tracts. So he does put them on the door, but he doesn't knock. Anybody else? Yes?
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from the trip?
Draw nigh to God, and He will draw nigh to you. Even when you can't see what's happening, God's going to take care of you. The biggest lesson is that most people, they're pretty nice. Most people are nice, even if they don't know your language. Even if you have like a broke toe and you tell them, they're real nice to you. Jay.
How much people got saved?
The sad thing is, it's like talking to a wall. 4 people got baptized. I don't know if they got saved, Jay. There's a girl, though, at the very end. Her name was Zelda. You should pray for her. She is a Roma girl, but she didn't have any food. And we were able to give her money for food, and she was so touched that we gave her that money. So it seemed like it was a change in her heart. So it looked like she was going that way. But it's kind of a really sad situation.
Can you explain to everybody the situation, or you keep saying Roma, and you
Roma,
said gypsies.
yeah.
Can you just kind of explain a little bit more about
So,
and
Roman people are, they're gypsy people, they're kind of travelers, they're poor, they have a lot of kids sometimes, they don't, I'm sorry, they're very materialistic kind of people, And like if you can do for them, that's really good. They love you, right? You're their best friends. But if you can't, then you're awful. And they spread rumors, and it's just a different way of lifestyle. They're very poor people.
The country, you talked a little bit about how you felt like you all was safe there. Do they operate under Sharia law, right?
No, they don't. They don't. They're very, the Islamic people there are a different kind of, they're not like the,
Who's in law? Who's the law there?
the Albanians. They're, the Islamic people, they believe in mystical things in Albania. They're very like, they believe in mystics and they believe in all of these different things. But they do have an Albanian, they're
The Constitution, are they a republic?
yeah, they are. I think they're a republic, but they're a third world country. They're an emerging country. So it's still, I mean, there's a lot of criminals that run the show. So, good question?
What was the biggest like culture shock moment that you had?
I think it was where people are very touchy. You know, we're very touchy. You know, preachers touchy. But it's like everybody over there. They want to touch you. They want to hug you. They don't want like they don't have personal spaces because there's not enough room. Because you saw how small it was, right? So they don't have a personal space. So when they got in my personal space, I would go, "Ay!" They didn't understand that because that's Hispanic and that's not Albanian. So they just like,
Hispanic?
"Ay!"
Oh, yeah, okay.
What do the women do for work? What is the...
They have factories they go to. They make a lot of fabrics there. They also do they work different I can't even think. But that's pretty much what the women do. They work in factories.
Textile industry,
Huh?
textile industry.
Yes, yeah. Making shoes. Stuff like that. Yes, ma'am.
Would you go back?
Yes. I would go back. Okay.
Did you have fun?
I did have fun. I did have fun. I would go back.
In the video, the kids singing the Lord's Army, was that a Sunday morning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because there were a lot of kids in that video.
There's a lot of kids. Yes, they would have a 10 o'clock kids time and then an 11 o'clock with adult time.
Okay.
So,
What did
yeah.
they do with the kids at 11?
They would go, goodbye.
Just,
Or they would go, Rachel, teach them. And I was like, okay.
so which then you went to a translator.
Yes.
So with that, what was the hardest part of using a translator?
Well, my translator did not know very much English.
Okay. So you had to simplify your English.
Yes.
Okay.
But she also was young. She's 14 years old.
Oh.
So she would just look at me. And I would look at her. And I would be like, will you say what I said? And she will say it. And then she looks, and then the kids talk to her. And then she looks at me. There was a learning curve.
Gotcha.
We had some issues. But once I was like, well, you have to tell me what they say because I don't understand. It kind of fixed itself.
Gotcha. So after you've been there a little bit, it
Yeah.
smoothed out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Was there not anyone else there that could have translated for you?
Miss Bonnie was there. She does translate, but she also translates for Brother King sometimes. So Miss Bonnie is really good in Albanian.
Yes.
She's very, very good.
Yes.
And Brother King is good as well. He understands a lot, but grammar's very hard because over there it's like feminine, masculine, and then, anyone who knows a different language than English knows that it's hard. So, and they've been there a long time, but it's hard sometimes. Yeah.
In the video, the last video, there was a young couple. Who were they and what were they doing?
The young couple.
I think it was their kids or grandkids.
Oh yes, their grandkids came, so we did have a mini vacation in between. So yes, her grandkids, the girl is Kendra, and the boy is Nolan. They're actually her grandchildren.
Okay.
Their mom and dad is a preacher and a preacher's wife in Florida. And they're the ones who went to Italy, with. They were
Gotcha.
real fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they just came over and spent the week.
They did. They came over and spent 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was fun.
And they spoke English too.
They did.
Yeah.
They were Americans. It was neat when you could actually find someone who could speak English, because I would be like, you speak English! It was a big thing. A lot of them didn't. Anybody else?
On average, how many people would you say show up to like a Sunday morning service?
Sunday morning service, lots of kids, a lot of kids, like 30 kids, 30, 40 kids. But the thing is that some of them come in, they're scoffers. So what do you do with the scoffers? You gotta send them out, because they're gonna just, so we would have to send the kids out, and then they would come back. And so there was a lot of kids, maybe 5, 10 ladies, maybe less. No men. No men. Yes, sir.
You spoke of Roma people. When you were there, did they allude to the fact that they might have been descendants of Romania? Were they Romania, not from Rome, but Romania?
Right.
They have a lot of vagabonds, a lot
Yes,
of
they are
gypsies
vagabonds.
that travel all over Europe. Is that who you're referring to? Is that
Yes,
what
yeah.
they're Roman
Yeah,
Romanian?
Romanian, yeah.
Is that-
The word gypsy is kind of a bad word. So,
And then the indigenous Albanians,
yes,
probably,
They-
that's the majority of your Muslims.
yes,
And
yes.
then they're basically there with you probably because they ain't Muslims.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not because they're wanting to be Christians, but they're just saying, we got nothing else.
Yeah.
We just don't want to go to the Muslim thing. We are
Yeah.
not Muslims, so we're coming.
Well, they're coming to us to get something.
Sure.
Anybody over here?
Do you feel like the Lord is like calling you back to specifically Albania, or do you?
I don't feel called to Albania. I feel like the Lord, I'm open to what the Lord has, and I will do what He wants. If He wants me to go back to Albania, I'll go. I'll pack my bags, my 18 bags that I took, and I will. Anybody else?
So you're with the Kings.
Yes.
And when y'all left, they left as well.
They left, yes.
Okay. So now their church was above the dental,
Yeah.
so they were just renting that.
They were renting it. They kept it because there's chairs and different furniture stuff in
So
there.
they're still keeping it.
They do have it, yeah. It's really cheap. It's like, if you know somebody. So my apartment, because I didn't go through, the internet. I went through knowing somebody. It was $300 a month.
Wow.
Super cheap, but there was no heat, no AC. That's like it is there. They went through somebody, so it's real cheap. It's like $200 a month to rent the church. So they're gonna just keep it for now.
All right.
I don't know if they'll go back to it.
Yeah. That was the house that they're in? Is that theirs or they renting?
They're renting that thing, yeah. Yes.
No, about your first 10 days.
My first 10 days, I did not have an apartment. I stayed in the hotel. In that first 10 days, I fell and broke my toe. It was interesting. I'd never broken a bone before. And my little toe. I was glad to be in my apartment because it was just a room and a bathroom, my hotel. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad I had the hotel though, because I'm glad I didn't have to sleep on a
Is it
couch.
the same one we see?
Yes, yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah.
You know how cheap motel is over there.
It was like $25 a month. Super cheap.
See, now everybody wants to go to Albania.
It's really cheap to live there.
Yeah.
You said no heat and air or air in your apartment, so were you comfortable? What is the temp like right
Yes,
now?
I was. Right now it's cold. But when I went there, it was just beginning to get the rainy season or winter, and it was like 70s when I first got there, and then it started getting colder.
So were you freezing?
No, I wasn't too bad. Not until November, because it's concrete, and so the colder, it's like the longer it's cold, the more it like sucks in the cold. So once it started getting cold for a while, then I was struggling. But they had a portable radiator, and I was all set. Yes, ma'am.
So, how was like living in your apartment? Did you have to like go to the grocery store and get groceries, and how would you travel around town and stuff like that?
They have a car, the Kings do, but driving is really scary. It's like take your life in your own hands. They double park. They like, it's like however many cars can get in the way. And I asked at one point, how many lanes is this road? And they're like, yep, because there's like 4 cars trying to all get in the same place. So we walked a lot. The cool thing is that they have a corner bread store. They have a corner, like the butcher was downstairs. So, and yeah, Salt Lake. Yeah. The market's not far. The coffee shop's right across the way. So everything is pretty easy to get to. So we did take a lot of taxis though, and they were pretty cheap. Yeah, but I walked most of them.
Whenever you travel, I've learned in life, having been in many countries as well, when you go to, a different city, it's okay, it's an impact. You go, okay, this is not the same city I was in,
Yeah.
When you go to a different state, there's a different cultural impact. When you go to a different country, those are life-changing experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think when you came back, just in the past month, right?
Couple weeks.
2 weeks.
A couple weeks, yeah. So, what do you think in your mind, since you've been back, what's happened to you that you've changed, and what have you done different now, from now on, because you have done this experience, you've experienced this, that other people had not experienced?
Yeah, I never lived on my own much, so I kind of learned how to, survive. You have to cook your own meal because they do not have fast food there. There's not a McDonald's. You cannot just run by. But it was a lot of being alone for me because the Kings are in their 70s. And Europe is so different than America. America's like, gotta go here, gotta go there, gotta do this, gotta do that, and then we gotta be there in 5 minutes. And Europe, or in Albania especially, it's like, well, if you get one thing done in a day, you're doing good.
Wow.
Yeah, one thing. Go to the bank, and you're there all day. You go to the coffee shop, and you sit there for 2 hours. So, being alone with myself, and realizing that it's okay, the things that I think need to be done right now, it's okay, the Lord's got me. I learned that the longer that I wait on the Lord, the sweeter it is, right? I was waiting to come home. And then I came, and then I'm here, and it's so sweet to be here, but it's so bittersweet. So I've learned to enjoy the moment more since I've been there, because I love you guys, and I know you guys will always be here. But when I was there, I should have enjoyed the moment more, I think. I look back on it. I'll find some home.
What did you do during your free time?
I crocheted. I made French fries. I baked cookies a few times. One of the boys, his name was Bruno, he called me cookies every time he would see me. Cookies! Yeah. I watched Top Water Nip. Did you know they have things there that they don't have here?
On Netflix?
Yeah. There we go.
Anybody else?
Was it busy all the time? Even at night time with the cars and did it?
The hustle and bustle of life.
Were you able to sleep or was it
Oh, yeah.
wild outside?
Yeah, it was a busy town, but it's kind of neat. In the morning it was busy because they were all dropping their kids off in school, so the cars were crazy. But they literally have nap time every day. So between 1 to 5 every day, it's dead. So you can drive your car around and not worry about dying. So if you need to go somewhere, that's the time. But then in the night, people will stay open until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's different. Where I was, there's a lot of stray animals. So when I first got there, in the hotel, there were dogs barking all night long, and they pop firecrackers off at midnight to celebrate the birthday, right? So there's firecrackers going off in the middle of the night, on the daily. So that was fun. But I learned to sleep, and it got, pretty habitual. Yes, ma'am.
We all have double-decker
calls to prayer when they were there?
They didn't.
The
No,
Muslims? Not
they
all?
do have a mosque there. There's an old one that people still go to, but I didn't hear the calls to prayer
Okay,
at all.
I like to do it.
Yeah, no, it was awful.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Quick.
Last chance.
Last chance, speak now. Okay.